So you've probably heard about the 10% rule. The 10% rule is don't increase your volume, your total running or training volume, by more than 10% each week. So if you were following the 10% rule and you were doing 100 minutes of activity, you wouldn't want to increase your total training activity more than about 10%, or in this case, 10 minutes per week. There are a few reasons why I don't believe in the 10% rule, and here's why. Reason number one, if you're already an experienced runner with a history or maybe a very long base training period of good volume of aerobic work, then you don't need to follow the 10% rule. You can take larger jumps in your training of a manageable volume without any real risk to injury, because your body is used to the volume, it's used to the aerobic activity, and you're just kind of jumping back into a pool that you've already been in. Second, depending on how you're increasing your training volume, you can increase more than 10% without having serious issues. And one of the ways that I like to do that with some people, or even with myself, is by increasing the total training volume by maybe 20%, or you could even go a little bit higher if you want, depending on what your total mileage is. And you can do that at one point in time, and then you can hover at that volume over a longer period of time, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. At that point, you can take either another jump, or you could take a down week, and then you could jump up again. And all of this is personalized and should be personalized based on what an individual's history and running experience is. And that leads me to the third point of why I don't agree with the rule, is because personalization is everything. There are no universal rules that you should follow with every single person, but there are principles and fundamentals that should be applied to every training plan and every person. So based on that, I don't agree with the 10% rule. However, it can be a good baseline if you are a really new runner and you're trying to take things very conservatively and you don't have the guidance of a coach, then you can follow the 10% rule. But if you're working with a coach, there are much more strategic ways to increase your easy running volume and make sure that you're doing that in a healthy way and you're staying injury free. And you're also benefiting yourself in the long term and where you want to go with your running.